Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. Again, my name is Jeffrey Davis. I'm the host of Radio Entrepreneurs. And every week we love to check in. We couldn't last week. We had a little short hiatus, but so glad to have him back, the fabulous Marc Z, for our Marc Z Moment. Welcome back, Marc.
Jeff, great to be here. And yes, disappointed, unfortunately, that I could not be part of the team last week, but it's great to be back and talking about current subjects.
My wife asked me why I was moping around the house all last week, and I said, I missed my Marc Z.
Flattery to get you everywhere, and I missed you too, buddy.
So, Marc, no shortage of topics. What's our topic this week?
I thought our subject and topic should be preparation. I feel that companies and organizations and prospective candidates for opportunities, applicants for jobs, they're not preparing as much for the interview. And what's interesting is research is at your fingertips today. It used to be when we had people interviewing for jobs with organizations, companies, firms, they would come in and we had a library of information, come into our office, we had a library of information that they would review, take copies of, use our research so they could really get an understanding of the company and or organization or firm. And the same thing with different firms and organizations that are interviewing candidates. What we're finding is because of busy schedules, people just having information at their fingertips, believing, okay, I can get to that sooner rather than later. They're not doing the research or in-depth discovery on companies, firms, and organizations, which is very important because if they did that, number one, that would help them obviously navigate the interview process better, but also give them an understanding of the company and organization and see whether or not even going into the meeting, the company, organization's firm is for them. At the same time, the employer representatives, if they could have information at their fingertips as they do now, it's really helpful for them to really understand the candidate before they go into the meeting. The people in the HR recruiting field, they're usually very up to snuff with the candidates and the backgrounds. It's a lot of times it's on the second interview where the people who are interviewing the candidate, they're so busy a lot on the person that they're meeting. So for both ends, that's a point.
Oh, well, Marc, I'm going to try to up the game a little bit on this comment because you and I both probably struggled to get through university in a different generation. But whenever we had to do a paper, we had to go to the library. We had to do research. We had to document all of our research. We had to back up our research because that's the way university used to be. Right. And we had to always have our sources and our, to whatever we're doing. And I think in our current generation, things have come too easy and people don't do the research. I remember being in the hospital 2 weeks ago and I was sitting in a waiting room and I heard one person say something to another and the woman said, just Google it. And then there was another question, a deep question, and she went, just Google it. And there was another deep question, and she went, just Google it. And you can't just Google it. You can't treat things shallow. You have to be willing to do the work. And I've had that discussion in my own organization. If you're not ready to do the work, you're not ready to do the work. And you have to be willing to work. And too many people just want the easy way out. Oh, I'm going to apply. Jobs come easy nowadays. There's more demand than there is supply. But you know what? When you're an employer and you see someone do work, it's impressive. And it does make an impression.
Right. You're showing the employer that you care, that you're invested in the opportunity, and that you are very serious about the opportunity. It doesn't help if you attend the interview when you're not totally sure about it. It doesn't help when you don't do any research because it really takes away from the interview because a lot of employers say, what do you know about us? And if you really don't know a lot about them, then why are you here? And at the same time, when you get into advanced rounds on candidates, a lot of the hiring authorities, in terms of the next step, can do more research. Many do, don't get me wrong. And I'm very impressed with a lot of the attorneys, partners, executives who do that. But sometimes they're so busy that they can't. And that definitely detracts from the interview.
Well, there is an underlying theme, and that is do the work, do the research. It'll be impressive. And if I'm interviewing someone and they don't do the research, I think if they're not doing the research during the honeymoon stage,
Right.
imagine how lazy they're going to be once we hire them for my firms or for my clients' firms. And so I say they're lazy. They're not going to do the work. Marc, great theme. I'd love to just go into it a little bit deeper dive again with you. But if someone wants to know more about how to interview properly, how to look at interviewees properly, how do they find you?
First of all, go on to the wonderful Radio Entrepreneurs website, radioentrepreneurs.com. Google Marc Z, M-A-R-C, and the letter Z, and we'll come right up. marczlegal.com, MarcZlegal.com, and 617-338-1300. And Jeff, all I just want to say is invest in the process. That's, if you're going to be a candidate or you're going to consider a candidate, invest in the process.
And that goes for everything. Don't take the easy way out. Work is work. And I remind everybody, we get the fabulous Marc Z every week on Radio Entrepreneurs. You can do what I do on my free time as I listen to old Marc Z interviews all over the web because they're posted all the time. And there's always words of wisdom from the fabulous Marc Z.